Hi, Jeremy from Speedo, your source for everything speedometer. In this video, we will walk you through the necessary steps to remove your cluster from your vehicle and install your Speedo custom gauge face for 2015 to present Dodge Charger. It's simpler than you'd think. Let's start by going over a list of tools you'll need to perform this particular install. You'll need a cordless drill, a flex adapter with a 7mm or Phillips head bit, a trim removal tool, a tack puller is helpful in place of the provided needle removal tool but is not necessary, and a permanent marker. The first step is removing the cluster bezel. The bezel is held on by clips. Gently insert your trim removal tool between the bezel and dash. Gradually work your way around, gently prying the bezel away until it's free. Next, we'll remove the instrument cluster. The instrument cluster is held into the dash by 5 7mm or Phillips head screws. Remove them and pull the cluster out of the cavity. Remove the wiring harness from the back of the cluster and lift the cluster free. We will now install your Speedo custom gauge faces in your cluster. Let's remove the lens from your cluster. Work your way around the cluster, lifting the clips while applying constant pressure to separate the lens from the cluster. Next, we'll mark our needle positions on the OEM gauge face. Make sure the needles are resting at their start positions. Mark those positions with a permanent marker on the OEM gauge face. This step is crucial. You will refer to these marks when installing your needles to make sure they are indexed properly. It will be difficult to calibrate your cluster to read properly without these marks. Now we'll remove your needles. Simultaneously turn the needle counterclockwise and pull the needle out to remove it. We will now replace your OEM gauge face with your Speedo custom gauge face. Remove the OEM gauge faces by simply pulling them off the cluster. Set the OEM gauge faces aside. Set your Speedo custom gauge face in place of the OEM gauge faces. Next, we will reinstall the needles. Refer to the marks you made on the OEM gauge faces. Position the needle in the same position and push the hub down onto the needle stem. Be careful to leave a little room between the needle hub and the gauge face. Check to make sure the needle is in the same relative position as previously marked. The needle can be rotated counterclockwise until it hits the desired start position you previously marked on your OEM gauge face. Remove any debris from your gauge face surface and reattach the lens to the cluster. Your cluster is now ready to be reinstalled in your vehicle. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for other great speedometer related content. For more help with your install or questions about this or any other US Speedo product, contact us Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern at 810-244-0909 or by email at sales@usspeedo.com. Follow us on social media at US Speedo for product releases, stock updates, and more.